In this video, I'm going to show you how to sketch the graph of a linear function if you know its equation in slope-intercept form. So that's y equals mx plus b. So here are two examples, and in each case we're asked to sketch the graph of an equation. And the equation is the y equals mx plus b form. So that's the slope-intercept form. And it's called that because m is the slope and b is the y-coordinate of the y-intercept. Okay? So, when I ask my students to sketch, what I mean is I want a pretty good drawing, but it doesn't need to be on graph paper and you don't need to use a ruler. But it's got to be neat and tidy, and if something should be twice as big as something else, then I want it to be twice as big. But I want it to be sort of a careful approximation. Okay, so the first equation, we've got y equals 3x minus 4. So the slope is 3. And I know that I'm going to want to use that as rise over run. So right away, I'm going to take that and I'm going to write it as 3 over 1 instead of just 3. Because that gives me a rise of 3 and a run of 1. Okay, and the y-intercept that's going to be the point 0, negative 4. And this is from my b here, the negative 4. Okay, so to sketch a line, we always need to start with a point. And in this case, we have the point that we've got is the y-intercept. So I'll put a point right here. So here's the point 0, negative 4. Alright, now to get the next point, I'm going to use the slope, and I'm going to go up 3, and then over 1. So 1, and I'll start at the point that I know. 1, 2, 3, and then 1 over. So this is the point 1, negative 1. And then I'll go up some more. I'll do it again. I'll go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and over 1. And now we've got the point. Now let's see, we're over 2, and we're up 2 as well. And then maybe one more. I've got space on here. So up 3, rise of 3, and over 1. So for my purposes, when you're sketching, every time you go over 1, it should be about the same. But it doesn't need to be exactly 0.6 centimeters or anything. Just try to make it look about the same. So now we're over 3, and we were up 2, and we went up 3 more, so we're up 5 now. Okay. And then we draw these, connect these with a nice smooth line. And there's a sketch of the graph of y equals 3x minus 4. So to double check at the end, we took a look at the y-intercept to make sure it's negative 4. And then a slope of 3 should be positive. This is a positive slope in that direction. If it was negative, it would look like that. And it should be pretty steep, because it's a number that's bigger than 1. And it is pretty steep. Okay, for the next example, we've got y equals negative 3 over 2x minus 1. So the slope is negative 3 over 2. And the y-intercept is the point 0, negative 1. So we always have to start with the y-intercept, or with a point. In this case, the easiest point to use is the y-intercept. So that's the point 0, negative 1. And then my slope is going to be negative. So I need to decide if I want to have a negative rise or a negative run. It'll give me the same line either way. In one case I'll sort of start drawing down here, and in the other case I'll start drawing over there. So let's put the negative sign on the top. It doesn't matter, we'll give you the same line either way. So that means my rise is going to be negative 3. So that means I'm going to go down 3 from my y-intercept. 1, 2, 3. And then my run is positive 2. 1, 2. So the coordinates of that point will be, we went over 2 from 0, so it'll be 2. And then we were down 1 and we went down 3 more, so negative 4. Now, if I had done it the other way, if I had said 3 over negative 2, this is what we would have gotten. So we would start at the y-intercept. We'd have a rise of 3, so 1, 2, 3, and a run now of negative 2. So 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2. So we go to the left because we've got a negative 1. The coordinates at this point, we've gone, it's negative 3. Oh, sorry, negative 2. And then the negative 2, 2. Let me write that again. Negative 2, 2. So depending on how much space you've got on your paper, it might be nice to do what I did and put 1 on each side. If you've got a lot of space, depending on the slope of your line and stuff, you can just do a few on one side like we did here. And the idea is just to make your line sort of take up most of your graph. So if you just had a little piddly line in the middle, it would be good to continue it on. And if here with just 1 point on either side, that line sort of looks like it takes up most of the graph. So again, to review, if you want to sketch a graph of a linear function and you have the equation in slope-intercept form, so that's y equals mx plus b, you start with the y-intercept, which is your b value. You put that point on. And then you count your rise and your run away over, up and over, or down and over, whichever, from your y-intercept. If you have a slope that's just a whole number, then make sure you can write it as that whole number over 1. And if you have a slope that's negative, then you just decide, do you want to put the negative sign on the top or the bottom, on the numerator or the denominator. Either one is totally fine. Alright, good luck.